And we're live here on YouTube. I'd like to welcome those listening in podcast land, and also my buddy Rich. Rich, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Mike. Nice to be back on a normal sleep schedule after being, as I was back on first shift at work. And yeah, got through the week. And now I think through the entire month of July between where holidays fall and taking vacations. I don't think I work a full week in the month of July. So it's going to be nice.
I wish I. This is my last. Like yesterday was my last Friday. Uh, that I worked the week previous, and now I then go into not working, and then I have this week off, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but it also means that now I will be on. I will be on half day, or I have to work Fridays after I go back. Now,
Mm,
I might be able to make some things work. I'm not sure. But with that, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Got
yeah.
a lot of stuff done at work, but yeah. Um, and then family's doing well. I didn't tell you, uh, my youngest uh isn't is going on the potty like very regularly now. He's
Okay.
yeah.
So you're not having to buy diapers anymore, or you're getting there,
We're getting close. We're getting close. I
getting
don't know
close.
that I don't I think we have enough diapers that we probably won't buy diapers, but we'll still probably buy pull-ups and stuff like that. So, um anyway,
Yeah, and while talking through kid stuff, my little man is he slept through the entire night for all week.
isn't that man, such a
Yeah,
blessing.
yeah.
Such a blessing.
So neither of us had to. I mean, it's a wake up time in the 6 o'clock hour, but that's kind of when we're getting up anyway anymore. So he's sleeping through the night. So it's been a blessing. So
Yeah, that's awesome. That's one of those things that doesn't you don't realize how much you need it until you get it, and then once you do, oh buddy. Um, Rich, we got a pretty good show. We're finally gonna get to talk about uh the the the
the
Chicago
Bears.
Bears move or not, or yes, or it's not on on the outline right now, but we both kind of understand where we're at.
No, no, no. It's on the outline. It's had like next week or next time next to it because
Oh yeah, yeah, there it is.
we've had time constraints, a little bit of time constraints, so we can even start with that topic to make sure that we actually cover it and talk about it.
Well, we
And
won't start there, but we'll get there. But there's also other news that came out since we've put this on there, so it's a
mm,
kind of a good thing we haven't actually talked about it because we have more that goes along with it than we thought. Um,
yeah,
and then also the World Cup news. What else we got, Rich?
well, Mike, we'll be talking NASCAR as our maybe our thoughts on the street course race that happened on Naval Station Coronado, as as well as maybe even talking about the Wrigleyville experience, or maybe that gets kicked down the road another week. Um, as it was our first time in Wrigleyville for a game since like
Yeah.
2018, and there was a lot more development that's happened there.
Yep.
But all that and more, Mike. But what do we got to do first?
We gotta go ahead and roll the intro. Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich. And we're back. Okay, before we start any of that, we have a poll question to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Now, people,
Um,
you did not vote. The
yep,
the
it's
first
just the two of us.
the first thing is when it comes to a democracy, participation matters. And those that show up are the ones that determine the future. And in this case, Rich and I were the only ones that showed up, and because of that, um, we are the only ones that really get to decide what moves on, I guess.
Yeah. So this week's poll question, which is unofficially sponsored by Route Irish Roasting Company, was kickball versus softball. Mike, I went with kickball. I went with kickball because it's a little much more simple of a game to throw together out on the playground or just out in the neighborhood. All you need is the ball. You don't need the bats. You don't need multiple. You don't need as many people. You can play kickball a little bit um,
Yep,
organically than softball. So
yep, I totally agree. And I also voted for kickball because kickball's kickball. That,
yep.
that's that's the quintessential uh, game when it comes to PE in elementary school, right? Like to
Hmm.
me,
Yeah, yeah. Normally you didn't get into softball until like maybe middle school, high school,
yeah,
when the gym classes became a little bit more organized.
yeah.
So.
So I'm all for it. And now when you played kickball,
Mhm.
did you guys ever go out to the base, like to the actual base? Like we did both indoor kickball and outdoor kickball.
If it was indoor kickball, then it was map ball, which is this week's poll question, but we'll get to that later. But we didn't have, I don't, at my elementary school, we did not have a baseball diamond
On prem.
on the premises. On the premises, so we played on the cement.
Mm, okay. Well,
Yeah, we were tucked. Our My school is tucked into a neighborhood that didn't have. I think now with the way I think they've expanded their footprint by buying out some houses and tearing them down to create more green space. But I think now that elementary school has a smaller soccer field. They use their space for soccer instead of a baseball diamond. Which
okay.
some of the elementary schools in Moline do have the green space that where they have a smaller baseball diamond on the premises. But Logan Elementary, where I went current at the time that I was going there, did not have as many fields or green space around the playground, and so it was basketball and an open field that was kind of concrete that was set up for like kickball. So that's where we played our kickball games when it was
Okay.
outdoors. And then indoors, I remember it was set up as mat ball, not as indoor kickball.
Yeah. So indoor was normally mat ball, but occasionally we
Hmm.
did indoor kickball. So
All right. So speaking of mat ball, that is this week's poll question, which I'll get posted probably this afternoon. I'll make sure to share it to our profiles once it goes live. And Matt Paul was our number 2 rated activity. It will be going up against Foursquare, our number 18,
ooh,
Foursquare
that's a rough one right
versus
there.
Matt Ball.
Yeah.
So you can find those poll questions on our Facebook page, Fans of Balls and Sticks, or you can look up Mike and I's Facebook page and it'll be there as well. And make sure to check out Route Irish Roasting Company over on their webpage, where you can make an online order to get you some Route Irish coffee.
Yeah. With that, Rich, do you see what's coming up next?
This is a left hand turn,
It is, and after that, Rich,
another left hand turn. And tell us why, Mike.
because we're heading into the NASCAR corner, presented as always by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois. Check them out for all your sports memorabilia needs on Fifth Avenue in Moline or on their eBay store. Once again, that is Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. Okay, we were making left and right. Actually, Rich, you forgot that we do have right turns this week because
Oh
we
yeah,
are
you're
on
right. We
road
do have.
courses.
We are back on another road course.
Last week we
Um,
were in San Diego for the Naval Base Coronado, uh, Androil 250 at Naval Base Coronado in San Diego.
yeah, this thing
First
had
and
a lot of
foremost,
sponsors. This thing had a lot of sponsors. It was the Qualcomm circuit, but it was the Adderall 250. But
yeah,
online, they just called it the San Diego Street Race.
yeah. So first and foremost, um, do we talk about the sponsor at all? The the
I've
the lead
never even heard
sponsor.
of Adderall. I've heard of Qualcomm.
So
Only I,
Otterall is um uh, a defense contractor
that would
company.
make sense that a defense contractor would sponsor a race on a military base.
Yeah, but as does NASCAR need that to be um their headline uh sponsor for a race? Like, I understand that kind of leans more into the political side, and I'm not trying to get into the political side of it, but
Mm,
it just seems a little more questionable if I were to um it just seems a little odd.
okay.
That's
I had not thought about that. I just found it odd that they had, I mean, like any NASCAR, you have advertisements plastered all
yeah.
around the track, but it seemed odd for this if this was the Otterall 250,
Yep.
but it was on the Qualcomm circuit, and I only know Qualcomm because that's what the Chargers stadium used to be named after. So Qualcomm must be big in the San Diego area. That makes sense. But online, they just referred to it as the San Diego Street Race.
Yeah.
So which is it? Is it the San Diego Street Race? Is it the Qualcomm circuit? Is it
Yeah,
Otterall?
that's a great question. I don't know. And
I don't know either.
I think that's a
But
problem too.
but I don't think we'll be able to find that out next year because obviously it's not, if they have a street race, it's not going to be on the naval station again. Um, let's talk about the race first, and then I have a follow-up question for you, I guess.
Okay, first and foremost, we're gonna like this topic is gonna take us a while because this was one of the I how much of the intro did you get to watch?
I did not.
Okay.
We tuned in just when the race was starting, so I did not get a chance. We did not watch the pre-race.
Okay. Um the intro was pretty awesome. Just putting it out there. Including but not limited to the command. So one of the naval bands played the national anthem, of course.
Hmm.
But the color guard was also a naval a naval color guard, and then the command to start engines was like a whole group. It was like 20 people, 30
Hmm.
people from uh, the Navy. I don't know if they were. If I'm guessing it was a mix of enlisted and officers, but it was a whole group of them, all doing the same thing essentially, and it was awesome. Like, for me, this was one of the best starts to a race that I've seen in years. So I was more than happy about it to start the
Yeah.
race.
Okay. Yeah. I was almost expecting to see, oh, that way of start the race. They had a couple of ships strategically stationed throughout the course. I'm surprised that they didn't fire off a blank cannon round from one
Yeah,
of those ships to signify driver start your engine and then pull string go boom, pull string make boom.
Also, let's also. I mean, if we're gonna say that, like, how about the broadcast booth was
Being on the naval ship.
in on the bridge of a naval ship.
Hmm. I did see that because I saw like I watched a little bit of the post race show.
Like, come on now. Like, this thing was amazing. Like, just all of that combined. I was here for it. 100%. Um which like I really was nervous about this race. I don't know why I was nervous about it. I thought it could go one of two ways, and I think it went the best way that it could have gone for that side of it. So that's the start. Um Obviously you don't have much opinion on that. Then we get into the race itself. And that race was kind of amazing. The there so there were a couple points where in the track where people were getting airborne like regularly, which is cool. Um Little scary, but everybody held on and everybody did what they should. Um and it was great to watch. So, yeah.
All
What
right. So I guess my follow-up question. Obviously, I don't think you're going to see Naval Station Coronado as a site of another street race. Maybe on a similar military base, you could see it happening on the next celebration birthday for the country, but that won't be for a while. Um,
25 to 50 years.
25 to 50 years, yeah. Um, so I guess we've had street races in Chicago. They did two in Chicago. Now they've done San Diego. Do you think that the NASCAR circuit should include one street race within the regular season? It served its purpose to get into the Chicago market again, but now they're back at the Chicagoland Speedway, which
Which
you've
I
said that which you think is a great place for a race because you've been there, and they should have never left, probably in your
Yep.
opinion. And they did a special one-off race in San Diego. Could they use this as a way to should a street race be a regular feature on the NASCAR schedule, or should it be uh, be a re- or is the novelty of it wearing off, much like the dirt race did in Bristol?
You bring up the dirt race, which I think is the best comparison of anything. This is like there is great skill that comes into driving on a street circuit. Nobody's going to deny that. The problem is, man, I hate that. No. The only issue that I have is that it is expensive for these cities. You have to shut down whole sections of your town during this uh during them being there, and it's not just like the day of the race. It's like 4 or 5 days. So it's huge. Is the skill of and I'm going to counterpoint with excuse me, is the skill that you use driving the street race that much different than if you go to a road course? I don't think it is.
No,
And
I don't think it is either. And there's some good road courses that NASCAR is choosing not to go to
right. I
because
mean,
of the to have a
um
street race. To where Road America is off the schedule, and there's a I think there's a road course in Mid
yep.
Ohio and Portland, Oregon that the O'Reilly series goes to.
Or there's The one in Wisconsin.
That's Road America.
Yeah, that one's awesome. Um, um,
Yeah, I totally get it. I think with it being a logistics nightmare
how about the most
on these.
famous? They don't. NASCAR doesn't go to the most famous uh, um, road course in America,
And what's that, Mike?
Laguna Seca.
Hmm.
Like when there, so I I get that people think like Daytona has a road course that is world famous, but that's a road course fit into a oval track. So I don't count that one. Purpose built road courses. Laguna Seca is one of the most famous and has maybe the most famous turn, one of if not the most famous turns in racing history. And that's the corkscrew.
And where is this track at?
It's in Monterey, Mexico. Or Monterey, sorry, Monterey, California.
Okay.
So, yes, you can argue, well, they already go to Sonoma and they go to this and they go. I'm sorry. You have a 11 turn road course that is considered one of the greatest tracks ever built when it comes to um, road courses, and they don't even use it. And part of that's probably because Laguna Seca is old enough that they don't need NASCAR to ever pay them to, like, they don't need NASCAR. But I think it's sad that NASCAR doesn't go there. It is an amazing course, and F1 has gone there. IndyCar has gone there, and still goes there. I believe. I think they still go there. Yeah, they IndyCar still goes there. Um, but like to me, it should be on the circuit,
Hmm.
and that type of a track would suffice for a road course or
Yeah.
a
Or
road course. Most of the road courses, and especially the fact that we have so many really good road courses in America. Why do we need to add an actual street race to that?
yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I think it's just too much of a logistical nightmare as far as because I mean you're talking about shutting down streets, but what about fixing those streets? Which once you make the layout to make it worth it, so you're not just shutting down the street to set up the layout
You're
and
welding
make
the You have to weld the
manhole.
manhole covers down. You have to pave. You have to put smoother transitions. By the way, we saw this week that you don't have to have perfectly smooth transitions because there were plenty of spots that were not perfectly
Hmm.
smooth transitions.
Yeah, I mean, I think if NASCAR has their heart set on we got to have a street race, partner with F1 or IndyCar when they're already have a street course
Yeah,
on the schedule and partner with them to have a IndyCar NASCAR double header. Even if that means that, well, the Indy race, since it's our circuit, we did all the legwork to set it up. You don't get the preferred Sunday afternoon race time. So you got to settle for a Saturday race
yep,
or because me and F1 goes to Las Vegas.
yeah,
They've had I've seen I think IndyCar goes to Tampa St. Pete.
and
Miami, yeah, Miami has a race.
Miami has an F1 race. Like, there's plenty of places you can go. I would argue though that even beyond that, we don't need it. We have plenty of good. I still argue that there are tons, and I do mean tons of really good, um, um, really good road courses here in America that would do way better than anything we need, than anything we have. And you're not taking over all that stuff.
Yeah, I think the only caveat that I think that I would try and make to wanting to do a street course would be to try and break into a market where there isn't a traditional NASCAR track. Thinking
Yep.
of somewhere in the upper northwest, in the northwest where there aren't any tracks, or even or maybe even in the northeast where there aren't where NASCAR
Um,
traditionally doesn't go.
the Northeast is covered. Like,
Okay.
there's New Hampshire.
Okay, yeah, that's right. You have New Hampshire, you have the Poconos.
You have the Poconos. Um, so, uh,
So probably you're looking at that in the northwest
or in the
where NASCAR.
mountains.
Yeah.
Like,
So a street course somewhere in Colorado, like in Denver, Colorado Springs, could work. Could work. Or
okay, time out. Sorry, I just have to
okay.
point this out. So, I uh, I put into I put into Google,
Mm-hmm.
Northwest NASCAR tracks. The Pacific, and this is what the AI generated. The Pacific Northwest has no active NASCAR National Touring Series, Cup, Xfinity, or Trucks
Mm-hmm.
venues. The nearest major elite facilities are Sonoma Raceway in California, and what do you think the second one it gives is?
Would it be Phoenix Raceway?
Nope,
What is it?
Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa. Um, Portland does have a 1 mile, 1.7 mile road course that's
And
hosted Indy cars.
I could have swore that one of the O'Reilly series went to that one
I
for a
think they
couple of
did
years.
at one point in time. Yeah. Um, Evergreen has a in now again this one would be hard, but it's a short track, which I would be fine if they put more short tracks in. Um, but Evergreen Speedway uh in Monroe, Washington is a 0.625 paved oval, uh, and it is a NASCAR affiliated track.
Hmm. So you break into Washington State, where you
Yeah.
currently don't go anywhere near.
So
Now,
there are.
granted, I mean it's not just that you have the track, but you probably have a population that would go to said
Yeah.
event, go to this event too. So, because I think because it'd be kind of hard to whether building a track or using something that's already existing and fixing it up, it'd be kind of hard to go to a place like Montana or the Dakotas or the or Wyoming
By the way,
just to have a race in that region though.
if you're wanting to do any of those three, I think those are great places to put a road course. You know why? Because
You're not going to displace the population by putting a road course in.
yeah, you're gonna displace less people. You're still gonna displace people. No matter what you do, a road course will displace people. But you're displacing significantly less people with that one. So
All right. So let's get to the results finally. So I like the setup at the naval station,
yeah, it was amazing.
and at least with the naval station, yeah, you're you could get around them doing all the improvements and shutting down the roads because it's a military population. You either you either it highly encourage people to use some of their leave to leave the base and go home, or you somehow make it to where you don't need to use the facilities that are being blocked off because of this, because of where the road course is
And
being laid and improved.
now here's the part that I think is a little worse. If we're honest, it's federal tax dollars going to make the improvements. NASCAR
Mm,
probably pays a little bit of it, but most of it's probably going to by way of federal tax dollars, which I don't actually like. But let's get to the results. Um, because of a wreck,
hmm
Shane Van Gisbergen is fell out of the race at 38th position. My pick of Jimmy Johnson finished at 28th on the lead lap,
Yep.
and your winner is
Corey Heim, a
first.
part-time driver
Yeah,
for Michael Jordan and
Denny Hamlin,
Denny
23-11.
Hamlin's team. So Mike, I should have stuck with my hunch of not picking Shane Van Gisbergen because of Coronado being an unknown environment, a first-time unknown environment, and that
I mean,
chaos could happen, and it did.
he did have that where like he was by far and away going to win that race if it wasn't for that accident. If we're honest
Yeah.
with ourselves, like you should have gotten the win. Like he was by far and away
Yeah,
the
because I mean,
leader.
he did make a he, but by all means, between the commentators and what you could see, he was making an aggressive move to go three wide. But once he saw that he couldn't make that pass, he backed off,
Yep.
and unfortunately, Austin Hill, his brakes locked up. But the brake lockup could have happened to anybody,
Yeah.
not just a rookie driver, and that's what took him out of the race is not being able to avoid a wreck because somebody's brakes locked up. So with Jimmy Johnson finishing higher than SVG, Mike, you take a 1-0, you take an 11-10 lead going into another road course, which is Sonoma.
Yeah.
So Mike, who are you going with for your pick to win? As we're still going by our rules of the 36 for 36 challenge of picking a different driver for every race.
Um. I mm, I picked somebody, but I don't know if I picked who I really want. Now
It,
that I think about it, da, da, da.
Last week on the air, you said you were planning on going with Daniel Suarez. Pre-show, when we were filling out our outline, you went with Carson Hocevar. And for our purposes, Mike, you do still have a road course, a person
I
that's
think
known for as a road course ringer,
I
and
think I have a
AJ
couple
Allmendinger
though.
available.
I think I have a couple.
Okay.
So let me check one more time.
You have
Um.
already used SVG and Connor Zilich.
Okay, Connor Zilich was the one I was actually looking into. So I
Yes.
have used him,
Yes.
but I'm going to use another road course guy as I'm going
All
to
right.
use Michael McDowell.
Michael McDowell. All right. I will change that
Yeah.
pick uh, for us. So I was also thinking of Michael McDowell, but then realized that I used him all the way back at Daytona.
Yep.
So I like that pick. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna punt on this one and do this as a to conserve my uses. And I'm gonna go with the driver that caused SVG to lose last week, and go with Austin Hill. Uh,
Awesome.
Austin Austin Hill did end up O- winning the O'Reilly race on the San Diego circuit. So I'm hoping he can just finish higher than Michael McDowell
Okay.
this week down in California.
Yep. In season tournament bracket. Don't forget to sign up. Round 1 starts this weekend. Um I know, like, yeah, I feel pretty good about what I've done. I've already put one together. If you need to, we've shared it on our Facebook, and I believe I put it in the show outline. If I didn't, I'm sorry. I'm this week. I moved to an entirely different computer. So it's really strange. I had to do a bunch of setup stuff. So stuff
Mm.
isn't perfect yet, but we'll get
So,
there.
all right. So, Mike, only because we talked on the NASCAR street races where they don't have races
Yeah.
and just our thoughts on it, let's not go through matchup by matchup in round one. But Mike, who is your pick to win the $1 million bracket challenge? Last year it was Ty Gibbs. I don't recall how our drivers did last year, but this year with the way the bracket fell and how well he's driven this year, I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick.
So
Who did you take all the way throughout the tournament?
I have Tyler Reddick as my number as my second place driver,
Okay.
and his boss beats him. I'm going with Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, I made it. I also went with Reddick. I went with Reddick over Hamlin.
Okay. And you know what? I think either if you pick those two as how you did it, you are not gonna be disappointed. I don't think. Like it's hard for me to think of a way that you're gonna be really disappointed this year or with this. These two guys are both on amazing tears,
Mhm.
and uh, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be really good. So
All right. And our final bit of NASCAR news, which is unrelated to his win this past week in San Diego, but Corey Heim will be taking over the number 35 car full time for 2311. So Riley Herbst is without a seat in 2027. Open seats in NASCAR that we know of right now are an unknown. Legacy Motorsports will be fielding a third full time car,
yep,
which will need a driver. There's a chance that the number 48 car for Hendrick Motorsports could open up if they don't re-sign Alex Bowman to an extension, as well as who's going to pilot the number 33 car for Richard Childers Racing full time, as they have not confirmed whether that's going to be Austin Hill.
yeah. So it's there's a lot going on. There's always a lot of seats and stuff in NASCAR. Again, we talked about it last week. I think it wasn't it last week where we talked about how I don't like the
Yeah,
concept of this essentially tampering is what it would be called in any other sport. When NASCAR needs to get this under control, because all these lame ducks kind of like you're racing to hopefully get somebody to pick you up. I don't think Riley Herbst with people that will be coming up and those that are like I don't know that Riley Herbst ends up with a car next year.
no, I don't think he does either. He
So
hasn't really done anything noteworthy to maybe warrant being in a full time cup ride.
yeah.
So,
So with that, Rich, go ahead and take us out.
all right, that has been the NASCAR Corner, presented by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois, and you can also find them on eBay. Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. Mike, we're going to keep making left-hand turns but we're going to go over to the baseball diamond. The Cubs this week had two with we were supposed to have two with the Blue Jays, but one of those games got rained out. So they went up to New York and swept the Mets, including um, a doubleheader sweep, which saw them beat the Mets by a combined score of 20-5 in that doubleheader. But last night they dropped their series opening win, victory series opener in Milwaukee as the Brewers had a come from behind victory. But Mike, overall, 4-2. Not bad.
Yeah, so um
And PCA PCA continues his red hot tear in the month of June by being named the NL Player of the Week.
yep, and I think I right now is there anybody other than Dansby Swanson that deserves it for this week?
Yeah, I could see Dansby Swanson having it as he kind of rediscovered his stroke out in Queens,
Like
getting
for real. The numbers that he's put up this week and some of what like just Yeah, I agree. I think he could very easily make, if not be a finalist, be the winner of the player of the week this week.
All right. Other news around baseball. The New York Mets fired their manager Carlos Mendoza on Friday.
After being
Joined
swept by the Cubs.
Yep, after being swept by the Cubs, it was it's been a disappointing year for the Mets,
Yep.
and I don't think that the current front office regime led by David Stearns was the one that hired Mendoza. So kind of the writing would think was on the wall
Yeah.
that he was going to be on a short leash if they disappointed again, having the second highest payroll in baseball. He joins Alex Cora and Rob Thompson on the unemployment line
Alex Cora should never be in baseball again. Um,
because he was the bench coach for the 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 Astros team that that was cheating. Okay,
anyway, um,
okay,
so with that, we also this next week we we're gonna kick. I think we're gonna kick that can down the road because we're already at
okay.
41 minutes, and you have kind of a soft hard deadline. The Cubs upcoming week. We have two against Milwaukee, three against the Padres, and one against the Cardinals. Milwaukee's in Milwaukee, and then the Cardinals and
Hmm.
Padres are at home. You know
Yep,
what? The Cubs are finding their stride. Um, we picked up a good pitcher this week, which we need. I did hear. By the way, did you hear that the Cubs have announced that their uniforms are changing mid-season for the entire pitching staff?
oh, no, I
They are
had.
now required to wear bubble wrap at all times. It's not just when they're on the mound; they are required to wear bubble wrap 24/7.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year for the Cubs rotation, as I don't think anybody on the first turn through the rotation on opening day hasn't spent some time, either isn't currently injured or hasn't spent. I think every member of the original five-man rotation coming out of spring training is either currently injured or has spent a significant amount of time on the injured list.
Okay, so right now the injured list includes Phil Maton, a right-handed pitcher. A
Yep.
right-handed pitcher, Jamison Tyone is on the IL. Justin Steele is on the IL. Ben Brown is on the IL. Cabrera on the IL. Jackson Wiggins on the IL. Are you counting, by the way, Rich? Daniel
Yeah.
Pulisic on the IL. Riley Martin on the IL. Hunter Harvey, Hodge, Cade Horton, all of those. Oh, and Shelby Miller.
Yeah. Shelby Miller, I think, was a signing in spring training where they were signing him with the option year of bringing him back next year for the bullpen. That him and Justin Steele, I think, were not
But
expected to contribute this year.
but
But thinking about,
still,
but yeah, the opening day rotation, Shota spent a significant amount of time on the IR. He's back, but Edward Cabrera, Jamison Teon, Cade Horton, and I'm trying to think who was that fifth guy in the rotation. If you don't count Steele, but now Ben Brown.
like
That was
nobody.
your opening day rotation, and
Yeah,
they're either all currently on the IR or they spent a significant amount of time there. It's That's crazy.
like what? Like how is this a thing?
Yeah,
Um,
but even amongst all the losing streaks and winning streaks that this team has been on, we're still in a position to make the playoffs with as a wild card, as Milwaukee is once again running away with the division. But hopefully, we can eat into some of that ground this week with two more games up in Milwaukee. But you still need to figure out a way to keep your pitchers healthy. And I don't know if this would have been one of Nick's rant points, but we've had the same pitching coach since Joe Madden was with the team. Is it finally time to replace the pitching coach, maybe, if we can't keep our pitchers healthy?
Maybe.
get some new voices in the on the pitching coach side of it.
I don't know what the solution is right now, but I can tell you that this much injury is like it's why the Cubs are not in first place.
Yep, for
Like
sure.
100% the reason why the Cubs are not in first place. Period. Like
Yeah, I mean, David Peterson's not having the best season. That's why he was available mid-year to make a trade this earlier in the year. When a guy has a 6 ERA and was being demoted to the bullpen, that's you're he's right now he's probably a warm body that we can see whether we can fix him to make him serviceable for our rotation since the Mets couldn't figure him out.
I mean if if you live in Chicago and can throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, you might want to get a jersey ready.
Yeah, I think I'd seen it was something from the Babylon Bee of like a where it was a satire piece, satire like meme thing that said local Girl Scout throws out first pitch for the Colorado Rockies, and then the pitching coach goes and approaches her to see if she can go 6 innings tonight. So
Like
the same thing could be happening in Chicago. So
the Cubs are in a terrible spot when it comes to pitching. And there's not a lot that they can do about it right now.
no, it's hoping that the guys that they're calling up from AAA can can go 5 innings and keep it close.
Yeah. And it really sucks for a lot of our bats cuz most of our bats are doing really well. Like they've picked up, they're hitting well, they're doing what they need to do. The problem is that when your pitching staff, I don't want to say lets you down, because at this point, your expectation for your pitching staff cannot be that great, right? Like you can't have huge expectations on them. So, okay, with that, Rich,
How many wins you giving them this week, Mike? 'Cause I'm gonna go three.
I
I'm gonna
I
go
still like
three,
that four
hoping that
number.
they can get four, hoping that they can at least make it to 500.
I think they can get four. I'm hoping. I think they will win four. I think they could win five. In all honesty, like 100%, I think they could win five. Um, but yeah.
All
Okay.
right. So, Mike, before we wrap up the show by talking about the Bears' unknown stadium conundrum that they find themselves in, let me give us a quick breakdown of how our World Cup adopted teams are doing. Argentina, your pick, Mike, went. I believe they finished up group play undefeated, so they advanced to the knockout round. Their no, I'm sorry. Their final game is against Jordan today in Dallas. Their first knockout round match will be July 5th in Miami against an unknown opponent at the time of recording.
Yep.
My pick of Germany went 2-0 in group play. They're going to face Paraguay to, on Monday in Boston, and Team USA finished group play 2-1, and will face Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Herzegovina.
Thank you. On July 1st, out in San Francisco. And Mike, the final topic of the day: the Bears board of directors, which has been old news now, but new news for us since we haven't had a chance to talk about it. Um, it's been on the outline for a couple of weeks, but the Bears board of directors has elected to move forward with plans to build in Hammond, Indiana. Sites to be determined, but one of the sites is in some marshland on the Fox Lake near the Horseshoe Casino.
Yeah.
So it's going to have views of the Chicago side of the Chicago skyline, but it's going to be a fixed roof stadium.
Yeah.
So
Um.
you won't get those. So you'll get those views from the blimp or from the aerial coverage of the dome, but not inside the stadium.
Now that being said, nothing's fixed in stone.
No,
And in
no, that
fact, other there is There has been other movement in the last couple weeks about uh, one or two other Illinois city suburbs saying, "Hey, we got space. Here's what we're looking at. What do you think?" Um, that have been made public enough that it's being talked about more than just, well, this is a hopeful thing. So there is still movement that could happen.
Yeah, and you still have, I think, the governor's office wanting to put the state of Illinois into much more debt by by trying to keep the Bears in the within the Illinois state lines as well.
I the hard. I mean, the big thing on that though is that when you that is millions of dollars when it comes to tax revenue, because it every home game equates to every member of the team has to pay taxes, of both teams has to pay taxes in that state. Every person that plays in the on a game there has to pay taxes in that state.
Yeah, and with the and that's also not including with an updated football field, other events that you would be able to bring into the city. And with them, you mean Mike, you've talked about how no, I don't like a dome. Chicago football needs to be played outdoors.
I agree.
But if you have a dome, that allows you to host.
Retractable roofs work.
Yeah, but you know what? The retractable roofs would never.
I it
More,
we
I would say that if it's freezing cold and you would have been playing outdoors if you were still at Soldier Field, you have a retractable roof. That roof's going to be closed in those situations where you would say, no, football needs to be played outdoors. Open that stupid roof up.
Yep.
No, that roof's going to be closed.
No, you're right.
That roof's going to be closed.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that it there
Bears
is
football needs to be outdoors.
yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you could that could if you have a retractable roof or a fixed roof stadium, that's also going to open up the that could open up your or improve your chances. Well, not even improve it. You probably have an improved chances to get a Super Bowl, to be on the Super Bowl
Yep.
rotation, to get a game there every couple of year, every maybe every 5 years, 5 to 7 years, being on the rotation, as well as you be able to host um, other bigger events like the NCAA tournament, like the NCAA tournament, because obviously those events aren't going. This I don't think the city of Chicago has a venue that could host a Final Four tournament.
I think they do, but I don't think the Final Four would ever go there. You don't think they'd use the United Center?
No, the Final Four is played in a domed football
You're
stadium now.
right. Yeah,
The
that's
United
true.
Center would be used for like a
The
regional
tournament, yeah.
championship, the regional tournament, but
Yeah.
not the final. They could be used for an Elite Eight, Sweet 16, Elite Eight site, but not a Final Four.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. You're
But
right.
so, I mean, I think the way this is playing out, it's still playing into your theory of they're just using Indiana to get a more favorable agreement to stay in Illinois, if not in the within the Chicago city limits. So I've still got to take a wait and see approach. I
Yeah.
got to see shovels in the ground and them formally saying that the site's it's gonna be here. We're cutting the ribbon and we're putting shovels in the ground. We are not negotiating with anybody else now.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at too.
Because obviously,
I'll
if you start building the stadium, because obviously, if you built this, we're not in a world now where you build the stadium before you have the team.
right. So I will believe it when I see it, 100%. And I haven't seen any, like you said, no shovels in ground. So with that, Rich, let's go ahead and hit the quick hits. As all we got on quick hits this week are shout outs. And I know that next Friday is or next Saturday is the official day, but let's give. Well, you have another one though. You have two that you have to do.
Yeah.
I have to give one for uh, 2 days ago. My
Mhm.
nephew, uh, 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 Alex Hart, had his birthday. So happy birthday, Alex! And then with that, Rich, give your at least one of two, if not both of two, if you would
We
like.
got three this past Sunday. It was Father's Day,
Oh
but
yeah.
it was also Grandma Lehman's birthday.
Oh yeah, I forgot
So
about that.
yeah, it was her 90th birthday. We had a good she had a nice open house birthday party um, at her Catholic church on last Saturday. And then it's also my mother-in-law's birthday on the 1st and my mom's birthday on the 4th.
And she'll
So,
probably get another. They'll both probably get another
oh
shout
yeah.
out next week because they deserve it. They're awesome ladies. So happy birthday! And with that, Rich, what's it time to do?
All right, Mike.
Actually, yeah.
Before we roll that outro, check out. Make sure to like wherever you're watching us, whether on YouTube or in podcast land. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Hit the
And
ding dong diddle bell or whatever that thing is.
yeah, make sure to check out our Facebook page, Fans of Balls and Sticks, where you can find our poll questions. Don't just go there to vote. Share it on your page as well. Let's hopefully we can reach a higher number than two people this upcoming week, where our poll question is Matt Ball versus Four Square for gym PE activities. Mike, with all that being said, let's go ahead and roll the outro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast with your hosts, Mike and Rich.